right, in the classroom, we went over this concept of a structure. And what we're going to look at and zoom in on is this entire program, piece by piece, including the overloading of the insertion operator, using a standard initialization long form. Because we overloaded the insertion operator, we have an easy printout to display person A or person B, whatever. We also look at a inline or direct initialization and a anonymous initialization. That is, we create a structure, a person, but there's no name for it. It's just this thing called person John Doe A. So here we have this line structure, person. It is a blueprint, nothing more than a blueprint for our computer program, for the compiler. We don't create anything, it just says compiler. If you ever see something called a person, this is what you have to build for it. 2 strings and a character. Here, to make our life easy, we did turn around and overload the insertion operator. The insertion operator said anytime you see a person and with cout, next to cout, pass that person to this function, that is the structure. The structure will take it apart as you wrote it. For example, I said whatever A is, put the first name, no space, put the middle initial, no space, put the last name, skip a line, send it to out, and then return out. And what is this? What is out? Out is another name for cout because it's a parameter and it's an output stream. This is very, very handy. You can use it for many things, including files and input. Here we are again, back in the main. The main says I have a variable A, and A is not initialized. But here it says, using the dot operator, initialize first name to John, notice it's a string, last name to Doe, and middle initial to V. And it's so simple since we overloaded this operator here, the insertion operator, so that when the compiler sees cout, insertion operator, next to a person structure, it will use the function we created above, making our code cleaner. Taking a look at this, we can initialize any structure directly if we know the exact order that the variables are listed. In this case, we know it's first name followed by first name followed by middle name followed by the initial. And it's up to the programmer to know these 3 things in this direct inline initialization. And once again, we use the overloaded insertion operator to make displaying easy. Next, anytime you need to create a structure, you just give the name of the structure and you can manually type in the data and the compiler will know what you're talking about, fill the thing up. Now this is called anonymous because there's no variable here. There's no way to change this. We can print it out here, we could give it to something, but we can no longer reference it. It is anonymous.